The Choice. Philly McMahon was a mainstay of the All-Ireland winning Dublin Gaelic football team from 2008 until his retirement from inter-county football in 2021. An entrepreneur and social activist, he owns and operates a number of businesses, including 3 gyms and Fit Food, a meal preparation service. Since losing his brother John, Philly has become an outspoken advocate for many addiction and mental health initiatives. In this extract from his award-winning book, The Choice, he remembers the 2011 All-Ireland Senior Football Championship when Dublin won their first All-Ireland title since 1995. I want to stop. My mind sends this message, but something slows it down as it goes from my brain to my legs. Rust. By the time I jam on the brakes and turn, I have only gone a step or two too far, but that is far enough. It feels like every eye in Croke Park is looking on me, wondering what is going on. But the reality is that it all happens in a split second and nobody even notices. Anyway, they are all watching Colm Cooper as he curls the ball over the bar. The green and gold jerseys are on their feet again. Fuck, what am I even doing here? Into the championship rounds, and Kerry have their foot on our neck. They are 4 points up with 7 minutes to play. Shoulders back and chests out. 2 years on, we are not startled earwigs anymore, but it is still looking like the same old story. Another chapter in the tale of the nearly men. Many Dubs, people from Dublin, draw their family tree from roots on Hill 16 and the moments that have been shared there between generations of fathers and sons and mothers and daughters. Standing side by side in their usual spots, they are fighting a losing battle against their worst instincts now, and already starting to wonder about what might have been. There is always next year. There will be plenty of time for everyone to tell us how we got it wrong. Good, but not good enough, they will say. There for the taking, and they could not get over the line again. Second best. Maybe that is their level. I know that Cooper is going to sell me that dummy. There is nothing wrong with how I am reading the game, but once he cuts in, all I can do is throw out a hand in hope, and I am forced to face the truth. It is mad how deeply you can look inside yourself in those moments. How nothing else registers, even though there are 29 other lads out there fighting with you and against you, and 82,000 spectators hanging on every move. For weeks I have been telling Pat Gilroy that I am fit and ready, and I have convinced myself, but it is obvious that after 2 months out injured, I am an inch or two short of where I need to be. And in an All-Ireland final, inches are the difference between blocks and scores. But you recognise that and accept it. Then you have to forget it. That play is over. When the next ball comes, I will back myself, same as always. And maybe that is what people don't see when they look at us and they question our hearts and our stomach for the battle. This Dublin team has learned its lessons the hard way. Once the final whistle blows, there will be nothing more we can do. But until then, we are not done fighting. In an instant, everything changes. A quick free from midfield, and Alan Brogan is turned and running at them. Kevin McManaman is on his shoulder. Give it! Give it! Give it! Alan waits and pops it, but the Kerry men are standing guard. 3 of them blocking the path to goal, warning Kev, do not even think about it. He is like me, thrown in from the bench in the second half with only one thing on his mind: make an impact. If he sticks the ball over the bar and gets us back to within 3, he will have done that. Michael Dara Macaulay is sprinting through in support. Bernard Brogan is on the edge of the square, crying out for the pass. But Kev is at full tilt, and he has other ideas. He drops his shoulder, and the goal opens up for him. Then it is all about keeping a cool head. The Kerry net ripples, and the Hills' fading dreams are transformed from a flicker to a roar. For 16 years, those fans have waited for a Dublin All-Ireland. 16 years of doubts and scars wiped away with a goal. A giddiness rushes in to take their place. There are fans my age who can barely remember the glory days of 1995. I barely remember them myself. The Dubs are giants of Gaelic football, for sure, but despite everyone's best efforts, they have been half asleep for most of my life. Nobody is nodding off now. The whole stadium is electrified, and we are the ones feeding off the energy. Just 2 minutes earlier, we looked tired, nothing left in the tank after an hour of hounding Kerry around the park. And even with that, it looked like we were going to come up short. Now they are the ones backing up and making mistakes, and we are on the balls of our feet trying to pick our shots. Now you will see what we are about. We win another turnover and get the ball moving quickly again. Kev Nolan has the Freedom of Dublin out on the Hogan stand side and kicks one of those scores of the day, all square. Then Bernard squeezes over a point to put us into the lead with 2 minutes left. All around us, the noise and the energy levels have gone up another notch. But the stakes are totally different. And there is a nervousness running through it. Hands on heads and on hearts. And then Kieran Donaghy kicks a point to draw Kerry level with 30 seconds to play. If it goes to a replay, we will be back here to do it all again in 2 weeks. But the referee signals that there are 2 additional minutes to be played, and one team is bound to get a chance in that time. We just need to make sure that it is us. Kev Mack goes down, tripped by a loose leg, and the whistle goes. We have a free, 40 metres from goal, a little to the right of the posts. Kev is still on the ground, hanging onto the ball as if it was the Sam Maguire itself. They are already waving Stephen Cluxton to come up and kick it. The All-Ireland on the line, and he jogs out of his goal past me, the coolest man in the house. All anybody else can do is watch. As Clucko places the ball, you cannot hear the difference between the curses and the prayers. It is all just noise, and it gets louder with every step back that he takes. But then he strikes it, and for a fraction of a moment after the ball leaves his foot, it is like somebody has turned the sound all the way down to 0. A deep breath multiplied by thousands, some in hope and some in fear. That moment of stillness is so brief that it barely registers before it is swallowed up again. There is a pocket of Dublin fans on the hill who are in the perfect position to judge the flight of the ball, and they are the first to react. It is a sound like nothing I have ever heard in my life, starting from the terrace and wrapping its way around the four sides of the stadium. Defeats in sport do not last forever, but a little bit of every disappointment stays with you, bottled up. Now it is bursting free all around me. Uncontrollable joy. The stands shake to their foundations. Down on the pitch, it is so loud that my head is shaking too. We have played the 2 additional minutes, but the game is still not over. Kerry have taken the restart quickly and they are trying to work it down the field. Clucko is sprinting back towards his goal in case they get to within shooting range. I have made the mistake in the past of wishing for a game to be over. I swore to myself that I would never let it happen again. But this is every dream I have ever had, and it is about to come true. Blow it up, ref! Blow it up! He does, and the place erupts all over again. A minute ago, Croke Park was a chessboard, every move on the pitch so precise. Now it is a blur of sky blue and navy, the happiest kind of chaos. We run, even though we have nowhere to run to. We cry, even though we are happier than we have ever been. Arms arrive out of nowhere and pull us into hugs. There are no words, only roars of pure emotion. By the time we go up to lift the Sam Maguire, I am banjaxed. Not from the game, but from all of the running around and jumping up and down celebrating. I am sure I am not the only one. Michael Dara gets pulled aside for an interview by RTE. I do not know how any player can be expected to explain those feelings, what we could possibly say that would ever begin to scratch the surface, but that does not stop people from asking. He is buzzing so much he can hardly get the words out. Unbelievable, he keeps saying. Unbelievable. He is right. It is unbelievable. But it will be a while before we let him live that interview down. I am over at the Hogan stand. I know my parents are in there somewhere, near the Ord Coworla box and the steps. I am scanning through the smiles of different shapes and sizes, every one of them with their story about this day and what it means to them. I find the one I want. It is not difficult. My dad is hard to miss at the best of times. A big man and a tough man. I run to the railings where he is standing, bawling his eyes out. My mam and my sister Kelly are a few rows back, still in their seats, but Dad has made his way down to the front of the stand. In 24 years, I do not think I have ever seen him cry, but he is hugging me and telling me how proud he is, the tears rolling down his face onto my jersey. Those first few moments are special. Just us and our families, before we step out of the bubble and the phones start buzzing, and the rest of the world arrives to join the party. This is why we do it. Every hour we put in when we train, every sacrifice we make, it is exhausting, but it is a privilege. We are the lucky ones who get to lace up our boots when everyone is watching. But that Dublin jersey is not ours. It belongs to the communities that shaped us, the clubs that trained us, the families that raised us. Our success will always be theirs too. Dad eventually lets go of me. I am an All-Ireland champion, and I will have these memories forever, It is almost perfect. All that is missing is John.
If reading, writing, maths or technology is holding you back, free phone 1800 20 20 65 to see how we can help.